All right. Welcome everybody to Power Hour. We're going to head and get started. My name's Casey Salgi. Appreciate you all jumping on a Tuesday night. Hopefully everybody is shedding some of that turkey weight and everyone had a great Thanksgiving. Fantastic time on our side here in Houston, Texas. It was great. It was absolutely great. Actually made it out to the deer lease with my buddy that's on here, Mr. David Daniel, the gentleman that was kind enough to get me started in network marketing and also kind enough to tell me about this little thing called Think Energy. So it was a great time. Hopefully you all had a great time with your friends and family as well. So tonight for Power Hour, just to recap what we've done here recently is we started off talking about what it takes to get to regional energy associate. So that our advisor, and that was, and everybody say it with me. This is where I shake you out of bed at 3 a.m. 5. Come on, Helen. I see it. 5, 3. Stand 5. I love it. Good work, everybody. 535. So we went over that and explained that all your hopes and dreams are simply tied to 535 and how many times you're going to do that. And then last time we met, we talked about electricity bills. We went into how to gather a customer, how to approach them, how to get into the details with them, what to look at in an electricity bill to be able to factor if we can save them money or not, all the things that went into that. And so that was a great session, and it seems a lot of folks got a lot out of it. I know Erica sure did. She has hit the ground running. She's gotten so many customers here since that last one, so that's been really cool to watch. And a lot of folks on here are bringing in the customers, and that's what this business is all about. Truly, is getting the customers. But today we're going to talk about energy advisors. So we're going to talk about the other side of the house. What is it that we do here? We do two simple things, right? We gather a handful of loyal customers, people we know, love, and trust. That's step one. And that's what we talked about last week. And the second thing that we do is we help others do the same thing. So what does that mean? That means energy advisors. And in the 535, the 3 out of the 535 is the energy advisors. Just to recap, if you haven't joined us before, what that means is 535 stands for 5 personal. That means you go out and gather 5 customers. Then you go find 3 people that want to make some money. They become energy advisors. We're going to dig into that tonight. And then you show those 3 people how to go out and get 5 personal customers. And if they do, that's 5 for you. And Al, Bob, and Chuck are the 3 people that you bring in, and each of them get 5. Al gets 5, Bob gets 5, Chuck gets 5. That's 15 plus your 5. That makes 20. And guess what? You've reached the rank of regional energy advisor. And then it's simply a matter of rinse and repeat. And then you do that until you're retired. Mute some folks here. And then just a kind reminder, if you come in on one of these trainings, double check, because Zoom sometimes, especially if you swap devices, sometimes you'll come in muted, sometimes you'll come in with a live mic. So just keep a lookout for that. A lot of times I can catch it, but sometimes I can't. So just keep a lookout on that. So back to the 535. That is the algorithm. That's the formula to be able to reach your truly financial freedom.
The compromise.
All right. Who is unable to mute themselves? Let me try muting everybody.
Hey, Casey, if you give me a co-host, I'll try to help mute people.
Thank you, sir. Let me see if I can get to that easy. Bear with me one quick second. If you are on and you can hear me, simply look and see if the mute button is on, and that will help us out significantly.
Major amount of work. It would be absolutely stunning.
So I'm mobile right now, and I'm not finding all of these easily. So bear with me while I try to. Here we go. Make co-host. All right. Mr. Daniel, you have the ban hammer, as they say.
I was watching here to enjoy the wooded area, that we live in, and we've never been able to do it, so.
The vision was always going to be the stealing of every.
Okay, I found the mute all button. All right, hopefully that'll take care of it. Again, folks, if you come on these meetings, and this is a preacher choir moment here. Everybody that's doing what's supposed to already muted their stuff, but just a reminder, sometimes accidents happen, but keep a lookout for that. Make sure that that you're on mute when you come in on these calls, because you got a lot of folks in here. So with that said, back to 535. So we talked about 535, what it needs, how you can get there. The next step is once you hit regional, then how do you get to the higher ranks? It's simply a matter of showing more and more people how to do the 535. This is the simplest business you will ever be involved in. Gather a couple customers, you gather a couple of energy advisors. So let's focus tonight on energy advisors, and we'll definitely leave some time. I want to allow folks to ask any questions that they might have and to dig in. So with that, energy advisors, how do we go about getting energy advisors? The easiest thing that I can say is you go out and you have conversations with people. That's it. When you have conversations with people, and what's really nice about using this as a system is that when you have a conversation with somebody and you dig in with them, in a conversation, people will tell you what they're looking for. It's just how we communicate. If we have something big going on in our day, promise you it's going to come up in a conversation with somebody that you love, somebody that you trust, somebody that you've been around for a while. They're going to open up and they're going to share with you. When I do this business, I go out and I interact with people and I have conversations with people. And then I am looking to find out where their pain points are. And if their pain points, when they share those with me through a conversation, are in an area that I can help provide some relief to them, if I can offer them a Tylenol when they've got a headache, then I find that there's a good chance that we can potentially do business. And when I approach a situation like that, I am bringing value to somebody. I sleep extremely well at night, that I'm not trying to take advantage of anybody. Somebody is looking to save money. Guess what? That's going to come up in a conversation, and I'm going to help them save some money on their electricity bill if I can. Somebody that wants to make money, I'm going to listen for that too. And if they want to do that, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to present them an opportunity to be able to make money, and I'm going to do it through Think Energy. And when I do that, they're going to see that, holy smokes, this could be something that I've been looking for. And they're going to look at me differently because they're so used to people not paying attention to them. Nobody pays attention to other people these days. We are in the social media world that's where we have, I mean, look at how many followers you have or how many people you're friends with. I bet you it's got a comma in it, right? 1,000 people, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 people. I guarantee that you are not talking to those people on a consistent basis. They're literally sitting on the toilet at night, looking at Facebook and swiping by as they go by. And tell me if I'm lying. I see the smiles on your face. Y'all know it. So what I'm suggesting you do is do that to get their attention. Do that to be on the front burner on the stove. But take it a step further and have a conversation with somebody. You can do that via text. You can do that as a direct message. You can do that in a lot of different ways. Use social media by all means. Use the technology. Look at what we're doing right here. We got people all over the United States right now, all connected on this thing. Listen to me. And I'm in a random spot right now having this conversation with y'all, right? We're doing that through technology. Use the technology. One of my mentors taught me something a long time ago, and it was high tech and high touch. You want to have a high touch with people, and you want to do it with technology. You don't need to drive 3 hours to have a sit down coffee with somebody. You can do a Zoom, but you still need to have the interaction with them. Human beings crave that at some level. So what I'm going to suggest that you do is have a conversation with people, talk to people. You should have a list. If you haven't done this, this is Network Marketing 101. Write down a list, because I guarantee you these people are not just going to magically fall out of the sky and land in your lap and say, hey, you're some random person. Would you happen to be doing something in the electricity business? It's probably not going to happen. Not saying it won't happen, but it'd be a whole lot better chance of, hey, John, man, how you been? How's the family? What y'all been up to? Where are you working these days? How are the kids? Are they in college yet? Yeah, they driving. You got cars for everybody. Yeah, it's pretty wild. It's expensive, isn't it? Hey, I wanted to ask you, are you happy with what you're doing for your full-time work? Is it paying all your bills? Do you have more money than you know what to do with in the bank? Have you hit the limit? Like you've capped out? Like FDIC, I think insures like 250,000 per bank account. You got your bank account completely topped off? No, okay. Well, here's the deal. Would you like to make extra money? Yeah, what do you got? I got this thing. I need you to take a look at a quick video. It takes about 12 minutes, explains a thing. Would you be interested in taking a look at that? Well, yeah. That's a whole lot different than calling up John and say, John, I got this thing I need you to look at right now. It's going to take 12 minutes. I need you to get in business with me. What does that sound like? That sounds like a taker. The other one, the first path, sounds like giving. It sounds like finding somebody, asking about them, connecting with them, and then offering them an opportunity. Now, you can approach this business multiple different ways, and your personality type is going to drive how you do that. I am a very direct person. I am going to get to the point. Small talk is going to be about 30 seconds to a minute. And you look up my profile through any AI bot, and it's going to say, get to the freaking point. That's who I am. But I am not oblivious to having a connection with somebody. Somebody asks how things are going, I'm going to tell them if I feel that it's genuine. If I feel it's a means to an end, I'm going to sniff that shit out and I'm going to say, nope, that's not working for me. What did you call me for? But if I take a genuine interest or someone takes a genuine interest in me and they offer that up, it's going to connect with me. They're going to truly be interested in me. They're going to want to know what's going on. They're going to listen to that. They're not going to be in such a hurry to talk about what it is that they've got. They're going to be interested in finding out what you've got going on. And then when they do that, and then you find them a solution to one of their problems, now you've got yourself one hell of a connection. Now you've got somebody that's going to take a look at our information. Now you got somebody that's going to ask some questions. Why? Because they're looking for what it is that we're offering. So all of that to be a bit of a prologue to come into how do we do this business? That's how I do this business. I have conversations with people. I reach out to them. I find out what they've got going on. And here's a nice little acronym that you can jot down, and it's called FORM: family, occupation, recreation, motivation. Again, that's family, occupation, recreation, motivation. FORM. I form them. And if you think about it, you run into somebody at your local grocery store. How does the conversation go? Oh, hey, John. Oh, man, how you been? How the kids? How's the wife? How's work going? Yeah, y'all been on any trips? Hey, weren't you in some band or something? You still doing that? It is a natural progression of a conversation that you would have in the shopping mart. You ask about their family and how that's going. Then you ask how work's going. You ask how they're doing, if they've had any recreation or going on any trips, and then what motivates them. They're in a band. They like playing the guitar, whatever. And while they're telling you those things, how often does it happen when you're asking, hey, how's the kids? Everything going good? Yeah, great. Well, then how's your wife? She doing good? Yeah. The kids, they going to school? Uh-oh, pain point number one. How the hell am I going to pay for college? Well, man, I tell you, yeah, they're going to college, but God, it's so expensive to go. I know, brother. I've saw the numbers, man. Inflation's insane. Ding, 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 ding. Money problem. Do you have anything that would help them with money? John needs money. Do you happen to have the cure to what it is that John needs? Yeah, you happen to be involved in this little part-time business thing here. Imagine that. See how easy that flows right in there? Does anybody get the icky feeling by doing it that way? How many times have you sat there and you're wanting to call somebody that's on your list and you don't know what to say to them? Raise your hand if that's ever happened to you. What am I going to say? And then you start talking yourself into it. What are they going to think about me? I'm coming at them trying to sell them this thing. Oh my God, is it a pyramid scheme? They're going to ask me that. What am I going to do? If I run into John in the scenario that I just threw out there, do you think John's going to be thinking pyramid scheme or anything other than, thank God I ran into Melissa at HEB? It takes all the weird out of it. And it's an easy approach. You don't have to sit there and talk about family, occupation, recreation, motivation for the next 3 days. You can get through it in about 30 seconds. But you are making a connection. Me personally, I go through it like that. And as soon as I hear it, literally bells go off. Ding, 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 ding. There's the problem. That's where it hurts. And the chances are where it hurts is going to be on a couple of levels. Money is going to be one of them. time is going to be another. Just don't have time. I'm so busy. I'm constantly running around. What are you running around doing? Trying to make a living. Comes back to money. Significance is another one. How many people do something that they cannot stand doing it, but they do it because they need the money? That doesn't motivate people. That just causes burnout. Imagine being able to be a part of something where you're literally putting money back in somebody else's pocket. Imagine the difference that you're making in their life by being able to do that. It's massive. It's huge. So that is an approach to be able to reach out to people. And you know what? I'm going to actually call on Mr. David Daniel. He loves it when I do this. I just randomly say, Dave, why don't you share with everybody? If y'all don't know, Dave is the reason that we're all here. Everybody that is on this Zoom is as a result of Dave making a decision. And I love this business for that type of thing where so many lives change as a result of decision after decision after decision. It's really freaking cool. So I'm going to reach out, Mr. David Daniel. I'd love for you, if you don't mind, you've been in this industry now for, hell, I've been in it for 15 something years, so you've been in it longer than me. If y'all don't know, Mr. Daniel actually is on a magazine cover. Actually, he's on 2 magazine covers. And for what he did in the energy business, Success from Home magazine literally profiled him. And he's been at the top of that energy business. He was the top at another business that we did together. And then he offered this up to me as an opportunity. And I'm very, very thankful that he did. I would like to call on him because I know he has personally sponsored literally triple digits in multiple companies. I want him to share what he does just so that you can hear another aspect of how others approach people to see about them taking a look at our opportunity. So Mr. Daniel, why don't you share with everybody, if you don't mind, what is your approach and what do you do?
So I've been in the industry about 16, 17 years. And I've tried to dissect it and figure out the perfect way. I've gone to all the seminars, Eric Worre, listen to all the Jim Rohn tapes, all that stuff. And there's several ways. There's several ways that you can approach somebody, but it all boils down to getting the information in front of your prospect. However you decide to do that is up to you. For right now, for me, I don't like talking on the phone. So normally I just text somebody. I'll text all day. Had the conversation kind of like what Casey was just talking about. And I ask them really quick because I don't want them thinking. I'm direct as well. And I'm going to ask them really quick what they have going on. Hey, would you take a look at what I have going on? You keep your options open. What do you have? I go really quick and I just try to get them to say yes, and I'll send them the link. You can't mess up sending, if it's the right person, you're not going to mess up. If they're hungry, if they're looking for something, they're going to take a look at that link. Now, obviously another way is doing one-on-one presentations, inviting them to Zooms, however you want to do it. Everybody's different. And there's a lot of different ways to do it. I have enrolled 28 people in Think Energy. And you go, wow, man, what's the trick to that? And 17 years, I've been saying this for a long time. Like, what is the trick? How are these people that are on top of the organization? How are they so good? How do they make so much money? The trick is they outwork us. I have 28 people that I enrolled in the business. There's zero skills of sending a text to somebody and having them look at it. The reason I have more sponsors than you do is because I outworked you. That's it. Miles Stallard, he has enrolled about 35 personal EAs, and he has outworked me. That's it. There's no skill to send somebody a text. It really doesn't take any skills to do that. So for me, I just go talk to everybody I know. I've talked to more people. I have gotten more no's than everybody on here probably put together. And that's fine. That's just the way it works. But it's strictly a numbers game. And once you figure that out and get over everything else in between, all you have to do is share the information. You have to make sure your prospect sees that information, and then we go from there. It's going to be a yes or no, and then move on. And that's how I do it. And that's how my mindset is. If just like for me saying Miles has 35 out of 28 people, if I outwork him this weekend, I could possibly pass him up, right? That's how it works. You guys outwork me this weekend, y'all will catch up with me. I mean, does that make sense? So that's how I do it, Casey.
I love it. I love it. Thank you, Mr. Daniel. That is fantastic information, and he is so spot on. You know, a couple things I'm going to key off on what he said is it is, and some of y'all been texting this in the chat, is it's a numbers game, and it's cliche, but it truly is. You know, so first step is who you going to talk to? Well, I don't know anybody. That's just limited thinking. So that's a mindset problem. So let's fix that first. You know, statistically, by the time you're 18 years old, you know 2,000 people. And that statistic is an old statistic. And I think it was prior to social media. Now that we have social media, it's so many more because we're a more connected society. Doesn't mean the depth of connection is more, but it means that we touch more people because of the social media and the technology that's out there. So first is you got to have somebody to talk to. So who do you start with? He talks Dave cannot go anywhere without bringing it up. If he hears somebody that says something about money, or he hears them talking about it, or you know, they're obviously they've done well, he has no fear. He is simply going to ask them and say, hey, what do you do for a living? He is starting a conversation to be able to have an interaction with them to find out, are they interested in earning additional income? And literally his words are, hey, are you interested in making more money? I've watched him do that so many times. I have literally been at the Dearleys. Maybe we were on our second beer. It could have been our first beer, but it might have been our second beer. We're sitting around the campfire and somebody will be talking about how they want a new Polaris Ranger because literally our campsite should be sponsored by Polaris for the number of those that are there. And somebody will come up and they got all beat up one or whatever. They're sitting there and they're seeing all these other ones. Say, man, where'd you get that? What do you do for a living that causes you to be able to have this new freaking badass toy? Oh man, are you money motivated? Yeah, money motivated. Would you be interested in earning additional income? Yes. You heard him say, I want them to say yes. So he asked those questions to get them to say, yeah, get them to say yes. And then he says, look, man, we're at the Dearleys right now. We're on our second beer. Now's not the time to get into the details. But let me get your phone number and I'm going to send you a text that's going to have the information. Guess what? Some of those people, I know this is going to sound crazy, some of those people that say yes are not going to look at the information. Shocker. I know it's crazy, but it's going to happen. When it does, here's what you do. I want you to write this down. It's 4 letters. Next. N-E-X-T. You go to the next person. This person has been talking about, and you all know these people, they're talkers. If you ever watch Game of Thrones, there's a great scene about talkers. Talkers annoy me. These are the people that constantly talk about what they want to do, but they never take action. They talk about how no opportunities ever show up. They never do these, that, nothing ever comes my way. No, opportunities hit you in the face on a daily basis. You just don't say yes. That is not a you problem. That's a them problem. Don't get wrapped up when people say no. It's not for them. They could be the greatest person in the world, and this just doesn't blow their hair back. That's fine too. They could make a gazillion dollars, and this could be perfect for them. Or they can make a gazillion dollars, and this is not perfect for them. It's not your choice. Detach yourself from the outcome. Be positive, be expectant, but do not let the next person that you run into not hear about what it is that we have to offer because the previous guy was too stupid to say yes. That person hit their knees last night looking for an opportunity, and you're going to let the guy who got the opportunity handed to him, gift wrapped in his lap, and he wasn't interested. You're going to let that dictate what you're going to say to the next person that needs this? It's a different mindset. It's a different viewpoint, but that's what we're here for at Power Hours, to change your thinking. So every new person is a new person. Every person you talk to is another opportunity. You will not run out of people. There are 8 billion of them on the planet. We do not need all of them. If you get 8 billion people, you will hit senior partner. That I assure you. But you don't need that many. Next thing I want to talk about off of what Dave was saying was the outworking. 5-3-5 is what it takes to get to regional, right? And then teaching those people how to do the thing and teaching those people how to do the thing. That's what, and I say it all the time when I show these models and simulations. That's the mathematical, beautiful thing of how this business works. Problem with mathematical models is that when you apply it with humans, they don't follow exactly what the model looks like. Why is that? Because they're people. And people come with people problems. Okay. Some people just aren't going to do it. Some people are going to go out and you want to find the next David Daniel on your team, Miles Stallard on your team, find the next Brian Pinso on your team, next Rocky Bose on your team, and all the different folks that are on this call that are the leaders that are out there doing it. You're looking for those people. They do not have light bulbs above their head that are turned on with a little pull switch. Oh, that's who I'm looking for. You have to find out. But it is not up to you that you're going to turn them on or turn them off. You just need to go in and have the conversation. So if you'll simply go in and check and see, and then move on to the next, that's the secret to this business. The person that talks to more people, as Mr. Daniel said, he's gotten more no's than all of y'all combined. And I'll back that up. I've watched him in action. He has talked to more people than you've talked to. That's it. I'll give you another one for my mentor. Talked about him before, Mr. Brian McClure. He's earned over $70 million in the energy space with another company that pays a sixth of what we pay, just to put that in some quick terms here. Tony Procopio, who is in our organization, he also had Brian McClure as a mentor. One of the things that Brian talked about, it was a pretty cool analogy that he used, and my love analogies is known. What he did is he literally built his symbol for his marketing materials off of a hummingbird. And he would always tell the story that this business is like being a hummingbird. A hummingbird has to go out and hit 2,000 flowers a day to get enough nectar to survive. They're burning calories like crazy. Those wings flapping like they're flapping, man, they're burning some calories. So they've got to hit 2,000 flowers a day to get enough nectar to sustain themselves to keep going. And he always made the joke. He said, what we do in this business is like a hummingbird. You go out there and you're checking, and you're going to check all these flowers to see if there's nectar in them. And when you do, you're going to fly up to them and you're going to check it out, and you're going to see. The hummingbird doesn't go into a flower that has no nectar and sit there and he would do this for like 20 seconds. It was pretty funny. This dude's like 6'9", he's 350 pounds, he's a huge monster, and he's sitting up on stage. It's the funniest thing in the world. So they don't just sit, they don't do that. What do they do? Zip, 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 zip. They're going all over the damn place. You need to hit a ton of people. You don't need to sit there all day long and convince the flowers that have no nectar in them to all of a sudden magically have nectar. Your job is to be a nectar detector. You're going in there to see, do these people actually need something? And a lot of people need something. Are they willing to take action for it? There's a lot of talkers. We want to find the flowers that have nectar. We want to find the people that aren't talkers. We want to find the people that are doers. All of y'all that are on this call, guess what? Y'all had nectar in the flower. Y'all are the doers. You aren't the talkers. You're tired of talking. You're tired. You're ready to see something happen. So you got to go out there and find the others like you. That's where the 3 in the 5-3-5 come from. And here's the other thing I'll tell you, if you haven't caught on, 3 is the minimum. Dave's got 28, Miles got 35. How many do you have? These guys do not have anything extra special over you. They're not some eloquent, freaking oratory, getting up quoting Shakespeare. And I'll give you Miles and Dave right off the top. These 2 guys are not getting up quoting Shakespeare. All right. These are good guys that are simply hungry, that are simply going out there and having conversations. They're just having more of them than you are. That's it. So if you're running into a problem on where do I find people, go to a Starbucks. Start talking to people. Tell somebody, hey, nice shoes. Man, I really like your car. That's a nice suit. Really like your bag. Where did you get that? You look successful. Hey, I know this sounds weird, but I'm just doing a quick poll here. Are you money motivated? Because you'd be surprised the number of people I run into that say they're not. They definitely did not say y'all on Shakespeare. Nice work, Stan. Have the conversation, break into it. Here's the other thing. Stop caring what people think that do not pay your bills. Man, when you, I heard this the other day, it said in the 20s, and when you're in your 20s, all you worry about is what other people are thinking about you. In your 30s, you start getting to the point where you might not care too much what other people are thinking about you. When you hit your 40s, you realize nobody gave a shit what you were thinking to begin with. So stop worrying what other people are thinking about you when you come up and have these conversations with them. They just don't care. That's a really good stat right there. My 28 EAs have turned into 321. You can go get 3, and that'll turn into 6. You can go get 28, and that turns into 321. That's just getting warmed up. He has seeded his organization with enough people that have come in that he most likely is not going to have to do a whole lot more. But guess what he's going to do? He's going to literally grab jet fuel and pour it on the fire so it gets even bigger. And he's going to keep talking to people and keep talking. And here's the other thing I'll tell you. Timing. Timing does make a difference. You want 321 people in your organization now or 321 people in your organization 5 years from now? You want to go get your 28 now or you want to go get them in 5 years from now? You want to do that as quickly as you can. You build that into the culture. You build that. You just make that commonplace because it's commonplace. There's nothing that holds anybody back from doing this. Simply go out there and have that conversation. Find out where it hurts. See if money, time, or significance will help them and say, hey, guess what? I got a way of fixing that. And if they don't want that fix, don't worry about it. I'll give you, I'll go back to my grocery store. Down here in Texas, we've got a place called HEB. It's the greatest grocery store on the planet. Let's say you run into your buddy Sam at the grocery store and you have that conversation. Literally, your baskets run into each other. You're coming around the corner. He comes around the corner. You run into each other. Sam, holy smokes, what have you been up to, man? I haven't seen you in ages. How's the family? And you start talking to Sam. And then he says, family's doing good. Ran into some health issues. Nancy's having some problems and she's got migraines real bad. They're killing her all the time. And it just sucks. It's been tough. It's like, oh man, I'm sorry to hear that. Connect with them on the feeling side. I'm sorry to hear that she's dealing with that. Hey, I saw this guy, Gary Brecka. He's on TikTok all the time, and he talked about a solution to that. He's got this cool blah, blah, blah thing that you simply take 2 of those, and it gets rid of migraines. You got it, Stan. Would you like to take a look at that? Would you like me to send that over to you? So let's recap what happened. You ran into your boy. You ran into him at the grocery store. You ask him about family. You didn't even make it to occupation, recreation, or motivation. He tells you instantly where it hurts. And you have a solution to his problems. And if he tells you, nah, we're good, are you going to lose any sleep that night? Are you going to feel bad or how Sam's going to think about you or what he's thinking about you, of you, that you are offering a solution to a problem? Are you going to feel icky or weird about offering up that solution to his problem? No, it's no big deal. Here is a solution. Take it or don't. If you want to keep talking about the problem and you don't want to fix it, no big deal. Not my problem. Not my circus. Not my monkey. Not my problem. Don't get hung up in this business because you want it more for them than they want it for themselves. I have literally watched people put their own money, join an opportunity, offer it to somebody, somebody says no, and they quit, fascinates me, truly fascinates me. So I'm here to inoculate you from that. I'm here to give you your shot so that you do not catch that. Whatever that thing is, don't catch that. That shot that you give yourself is your why. Anytime you feel upset about this business, or somebody said no, or boo, or this is a scam, or you're going to jail, or it's a pyramid scheme, or whatever the nonsense that's thrown out there, I swear I've heard it all. All I think about when somebody says that is I remember why I joined this business. It was to help people, and it was to get what it was that I desired. It was a conduit to get to what it is that I desire. And if they don't see that, that is their choice. It's not my problem. I offered them a solution to an issue that they have. They can choose to take it or not. I detach myself from the outcome, but I do not let that hold me up from talking to the next person. Any questions about that or anything that we've said so far? I want to pause here, simply unmute yourself and ask a question if you've got a question about what we've covered, or I'm going to open it up for any questions on any other topic too. But those were the main points that I wanted to make on going out and approaching people for what we do with this business. Any questions, just come off of mute and ask away. Cool. It's crystal clear to 20 people. I love it.
I do have a question actually, and it probably can be
Please.
answered. I think there's going to be a Lubbock specific training soon. Miles has talked about, but the issue that I'm having is we don't know when the pre-enrollment is. I'm sorry about the background noise.
No worries.
We still haven't figured out when the pre-enrollment date is, and I'm trying to get people to come to the events on the 4th and the 7th. Just selling the business opportunity. So maybe my question is better suited for that. But I don't have any rates to compare to. So I am just pitching the business opportunity sense. But do you have any advice for how to sell Lubbock specifically? Since that's where.
Sure. Oh yeah, absolutely. So another mentor of mine, Lane Winsett. This dude was a legend. He was a part of Excel Communication, and then he was a part of the energy business that we were part of before. And I learned at his right hand. He was awesome. He's also a little crazy too. And one of the phrases I'll never forget. This was literally 15 years ago. He says, "Don't spill your popcorn in the lobby before the picture show." Now, I don't know what the hell that meant, but what it kind of meant was don't get too far ahead when you're pitching somebody. Don't worry about giving them all the information. You don't want to ruin the movie for them. What you want to do is you want to be the trailer of a movie. You want to be the thing that gets people to go out and buy the ticket, right? Aquaman's coming out, and Jason Momoa is out there, and he's doing his funny little skits, and the skits that he's showing has nothing to do with the movie, but he's getting interest and people coming to the movie to see the show. He's not giving away all the details. So what is it that you need to do? What is your goal? Your goal is to get butts in seats at that event. And for y'all that do not know, there is a Texas tour that's being done. Just give a quick plug here. That the corporate folks, including our CEO and our senior vice president, Brad Tails, coming through. Michael Falquist, our CEO, is coming through. We've got all the top founding energy advisors of the company, Tony and the Kinney brothers. All of those folks are going to be coming in as they did a couple months ago. But they're going to be coming through Houston. Through Texas. They're going to first stop at Lubbock. Then they're going to go to, I think, to Dallas, and then they're going to go to Houston, and then they're going to go back to Lubbock or somewhere in there. But they're starting and ending in Lubbock. The reason that they're doing that and coming through is that Texas is a very, very nice market and a very wide open market. It's a lot of competition, but specifically in Lubbock, the city of Lubbock, which is, I think, probably one of the top 10 cities in Texas, is deregulating, meaning that the customers there will have a right to choose. And I believe there's over 100,000 potential customers up for grabs, and it might even be 200,000. Dave is telling me, or he's saying peace out, but I think he's saying 200,000. So there's a lot of opportunity in Lubbock. And so to tie back into your question, what is it that you're trying to do? You're trying to get butts in seats. You're trying to get people in front of the information like Dave was talking about. Is it better to see a 12-minute segment that's bootleg copy of the movie, or is it better to go and see it in IMAX high definition with the popcorn and the big soft drink? It's better to go to the big IMAX screen. Get them, if you can, in front of the star power that we have. That's why these folks are flying in from the Northeast down into Texas, to be able to show them. It's like, look, here we are. Look at us. We've done this thing. They put on an amazing fact-filled show about what it is that we do. When somebody gets done watching that presentation, if that doesn't, and I'm going to use a Texas statement here, if that doesn't get them fired up, their wood's wet. All right. You go to that presentation and you watch these guys give this presentation, and you have any sense of earning additional income, you don't walk out of that room without being extremely fired up and blowing the business up. So all you got to do is get butts in seats. Now, how do you do that? You don't do that by worrying about, is it 15 cents or 14.8 cents? Nobody gives a damn, right? What matters is, all of these people are going to be brand new, and these people are going to build off a relationship. And if they know you and you're affiliated with it and you're in that area, they're going with you. It doesn't matter. As long as the rate's close, it's good. Now, what are the specific, all of that will come out. And I am the first detailed person that wants to know every bit of that information, but ultimately, does it matter or not for what you're trying to do, which is to get them there. So how is it that you actually get them there? It's like, look, in Lubbock, there's been a couple of key moments in the history of this city, but I'm telling you that there's a Wikipedia page about Lubbock, and it's getting ready to have an entry in it that talks about the deregulation. It's that big of a deal. You look at anything regarding electricity in Texas or any of the states that have deregulated, it is a momentous moment in history. This is the first time that this has happened literally in 20 years in Texas. You have the chance at over 200,000 people changing an electricity bill, the third largest bill that they pay. That is a massive shift of wealth. You are positioned simply by the fact that you know me and the fact that you're geographically blessed to be in Lubbock, Texas, to be able to take advantage of the largest shift in wealth that has occurred in the city since probably the last oil boom. And I'm not exaggerating. Do you want to be a part of that? Yes or no? They say no. You go, thanks. You delete them out of your phone, and you don't need to talk to them ever again, because their wood's wet. They're going to tell you how they never get any wonderful opportunities coming their way. They're going to bitch and whine. They're going to be like those talkers in Game of Thrones. So just move on to the next one. But that's how I would go about doing it. That's how I would get them to get to the picture show, as they say. Does that help? Is it Jamie? Does that help?
Yes, sir. Jaime Perez. That's
Jaime,
beautifully
Jaime.
put. Thank you
Excellent.
very much.
Yeah, for sure, man. For sure. Any follow-up questions to that? You feeling good with that? You know what to say to
No,
the next
yeah,
person
that gives me plenty to chew on. No, that's perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. My pleasure. My pleasure. I'm glad you like that one, Rocky. Yeah, that was Joey. What the heck was his name? Dave, help me out. What was that? He owned the Mavericks before they sold them to Mark Cuban. He was one of the investors in our previous company. I can't
Joey
remember his
Carter?
name, but Carter. Yeah, Joey Carter. He's the one that came up with that. His grandmother actually knew Mary Kay, the Mary Kay, and they had actually had home interior designs. He was on the Direct Sales Association. That dude had so many good sayings. But yeah, he said, that doesn't get you fired up, your wood's wet. So feel free to use that one. He can live on with that. Your wool is wet. That's funny. All right, other questions. Really good question, Jaime. Appreciate you broaching that, talking about that. Everybody clear on the Texas tour? If you're within 3 hours of any of those cities, Houston, Dallas, or Lubbock, please make sure you are one of those butts in the seats. Like, Casey, I'm already in the business. Why do I need to go to this event? I've been in this business. I've been in this industry for 15 plus years. I'm going to be at the event, right? I've heard it before. I've done the presentation. I'm going because every time you come to an event like this, it causes something in you to change. It absolutely tweaks your brain and you see something, you'll hear something, and it might not even be from the presentation. It'll be in the conversations that you have on the side. Having an opportunity to actually rub elbows with the CEO of this company that will be $1 billion company, a guy that sold this last company for $500 million, and what he has set up for us will far eclipse what was done in his previous company and any of the ones that we've been in. And I believe that wholeheartedly. That's why I'm so invested in this, and that's why I have so much energy for this business. You see what I did there with that pun, energy? Anyway, y'all get that later. So I'm fired up about this. I really am. Please make it to this event if you've never been there, or even if you have been there. Make sure you're going to be at these events. If you're within a couple of hours of being in Houston, Dallas, or Lubbock, and Lubbock twice, make sure you're there. And y'all are blessed in Lubbock. It's like, why are they doing 2 in Lubbock? Why are they starting in Lubbock and then going to Dallas and Houston and then coming back to Lubbock? They're doing that because you get your first batch of people to Lubbock. You get them in that hotel ballroom. You just get, and here's how you get them. I'm going to go deep on this for a second. You go pick them up. You don't tell them where it's at. You tell them, I'm going to come pick you up. I want no excuses for why your cat needed a haircut the day of and why you couldn't make it to this event. I'm going to be at your door. I expect you to be suited up, ready to go, dress as you expect to be paid, and let's go look at this thing together. I'll be picking you up. It's that important. Peek through the curtains, knock on the door if they don't answer the door. Kidnap them, put them in your car, and deliver them to the location. That's what we did. That's how we built the business. That's what you guys should be doing, making sure they're there. Then when they're there at Lubbock on the first night, they're going to be blown away. And your goal is to put 10 butts in seats, rent a bus if you have to, load them all up and get them to the event. Then those 10 people need to each get a bus 3 or 4, I guess it's 4 days later when they come back through Lubbock. Those are the people that are going to be set. And I am not exaggerating. The timing of what you guys have in Lubbock, or anybody that you know that's in Lubbock, you should literally be asking every human being you know, who do I know that lives in Lubbock? Who do you know that lives in Lubbock? I need to talk to them. Can they fog a mirror? I need to talk to them. That's what you should be doing. So really, really, folks, make sure if you're anywhere near any of these cities, make sure you're at the event. Fireman Dave here, my buddy, he's going to be, I think he's working that first day. He's flying, gets out of work. He's flying to Lubbock. He's going to make it to Dallas. He's going to make it to Houston. Don't give me excuses that you're busier than he is. He's got 5 kids. Okay. He's a captain of the Austin Fire Department. The dude's busy. He's going to be there. So find out what you got going on, cancel it, do what you got. And I get there's some times where you can't break some commitments that you're in, honor those. I get it. But I also know that there's more excuses than there are commitments. Do what you got to do. Get yourself to these events. You're going to hear what it is you needed to hear that night. It's going to take your business to the next level. I promise you.
Casey.
Other questions? Yes, sir. Mr. Marshall, what you got, sir?
Question about large business customers. I saw a conversation.
Large commercial.
Yes, the large commercial. I saw a conversation in the Team Mesa chat where somebody said, I think the number was above 40 kWh, 40,000, I believe. It said there's someone named George that they talked to.
George, he's the man.
Okay, how does that work? I might contact you offline, just kind of get an idea. How does that work as far as process, payment, all the stuff like that? Like,
that's George's department. The best thing to do is find your contact that you have in the world that is burning through 40,000 plus kilowatts.
Okay.
And then get a copy of their electricity bill. And that shows that you've got somebody that's interested, right? Instead of it just being maybe it's get their electricity bill, and then say, hey, let's work up a quote and see what we can do for you. And they say, okay, that sounds good. And then you contact George and EA support, Energy Advisor support, and then he'll walk you through what it is that you need to do, any extra information, put you in touch with whoever you need to be in touch with, or who your prospect needs to be in touch with, and then they'll handle it from there. But the key is secure the electricity bill from the person, and that's going to show good faith that they're interested in doing something.
Okay. I like that.
Yep, good question. And again, that same thing falls for large commercial, small commercial, residential, all of them. You're going to find out somebody's got a pain point. Pain point is they're paying too much money. They want to put some money back in their pocket. Hey, you got enough money in your bank account? Would you like to have some more in there? It's a whole lot easier to save money than it is to make money. You already got that money. Let's keep it in your pocket. Why pay more for something that we can get you for cheaper or the same? Then get that electricity bill and then get it over into the right hand, either yourself running the numbers, or if you need help, reach out to me or any of the leaders in your organization that's your senior business partner, and then say, hey, I got this bill. I want to be able to run these numbers. Watch the training that I gave previous. I posted that out actually yesterday as a result of that conversation. People got into, well, how do we do this? What happens if it's over 2,000? What if they use 8,000? All that information can be found in that last power hour. So make sure we're pointing people to that and encourage them to get onto this so that they can ask those questions directly. I don't know how we teleport and make time and space-time continuum bends like we do, but we got 5 minutes left. So what are our last questions that anybody might have? All right, excellent. So next week, yes, sir. What you got, Mr. Marshall?
Can you explain how the points work for directors in Texas qualifying for Hawaii? I know there's like a 400-point thingy. It's different than
so the normal is 500 points get you to that position, and that position gets you a trip to Hawaii. The promotion was that, I think it's to the end of the year, is that if those customers are Texas customers, then you only need 400 instead of 500 to be able to get there. Now, the same rules apply for the 40%. No more than 40% of that volume can come from one leg. That does not apply to your personal leg. So if you go out and you get 150 customers, then that 40% is not going to apply to your 150 customers. It's only to what your team has brought in. And if those customers are from Texas, then you only need 400 of those, and that gets you there. Now, I don't know what the breakdown is. Let's say you have 357 from New York and you got 163 from Texas. I don't know how they're factoring that. That'll be an EA consultant support line question. I don't know the details beyond that.
Okay.
Yep. But yeah, get after it, man. This is the time. This is the time to go, folks. If you're not having those conversations, if you're not asking people for electricity bills, ultimately, you're not trying to put money back in their pockets, man, you're missing an opportunity. Now is the time to push extremely hard. Focus on that 5-3-5. Take what we talked about here tonight. Focus on that. The way you get your 3 is you get 7 people to say no, right? You go talk to 10 people, 7 of them say no, 3 say yes. Guess what? You got your 3. Show them how to go talk to 10 people, get 3 of them to say yes to the business. The 7 that say no to the business, guess what? Those are your customers. Check that out, right? You go out and talk to them and say, hey, you want to earn some additional income? Nah, man, I'm good. I got more money I know what to do with. Great. Hey, would you like to save some money off your light bill? Well, that sounds good. They say no to the business, get them to say yes to being a customer. Another approach for you. Awesome. All right. Well, let's do this. Let's unmute everybody and everybody say good night. Appreciate y'all joining. And if you got something out of Power Hour tonight, this is one of the things that I want. I want this thing to grow like crazy. I want triple digits on this call. We hit 20. We're a fifth of the way to my goal. We got Mr. Daniels got 321 people in his organization, then they should be on this call. We should easily have 100. So what that means is we got to sell it to them. We got to let them know that this is a wonderful training. If it sucked, then say it sucked. I wouldn't join that training at all. Save your moments on Tuesday nights. But if it was good, then please post something out onto the chat and encourage everybody. Do it tonight and then do it again next Tuesday. We'll have to see if we're going to do it Tuesday with the Texas tour. But for the next Power Hour, encourage everybody to jump on so that we get our group to be the best well-trained team in the entire organization, because the team that's the most trained, the one that goes out and execute, is the one that's going to win and is going to help the most people. And that's what I want for all of y'all. So with that, unmute yourself, tell everybody good night, and thank y'all for joining Power Hour. We'll see you at the next one.
Good night, everybody. Thank you, Casey.
Thank you.
Thank
Good
you,
night.
See y'all on Tuesday.
Thank you, Melissa. Thank you,
Thank
everybody.
you, Mr. Salgi.
Night.
Bless everybody. Have a good night. See y'all soon.
Thank you, Stan. Appreciate you, man.
Thanks for letting me in, Stan.
Thank you.
Sorry for the confusion in the chat about the overview just before this one.
Yeah, no worries,
Appreciate
man.
it.
Thanks for getting me that link. I appreciate it.
Anytime, bro.
All right, everybody. Y'all have a good night.